Good gaming champions. Welcome back to a very, very special episode. 'Tis the season to give thanks, but more importantly, it's the season to spend the time with family. And in honor of spending time with the family, we wanted to make sure that we put out our top 5 list for best family games to sit down and play over this holiday season. So no matter what holiday that you celebrate, from Thanksgiving here in the United States, or Boxing Day, or Hanukkah, or Christmas, or any of the many other holidays that are celebrated across the world, we want to make sure we gave you a list of what we feel are 5 of the best family games to play as you sit down with your family and try to avoid having nothing but just pure conversation with them, finding diversions to still leave the house in love with your family the way that they came in.
Yeah.
Sound good, gentlemen?
Great.
You got a good list?
I had to keep my paper because I'm my memory, so that's what goes first.
All right, perfect. All right, gentlemen. So just like we've done for our past videos, we're gonna kick it off with number 5. So Shay, why don't you give us your number 5 best family game to play?
So my number 5 is going to definitely be Uno Flip. Like, and maybe this is divisive, but just hitting somebody with a plus 20, because that's the difference between Uno and Uno Flip. Uno Flip is basically, well, there's 2 sides to it. There is the regular side, but there's the other side. And so what's different really with it is the one side, the regular side, they don't have a draw 2, they have a draw 1. You're like, oh, that's something. And I remember the Wild 4 is a Wild 2, if I remember correctly. But when you flip it around, that plus 2 is a plus 5. And at my house, we do stacking. And so you can get somebody 20 cards right quick from the deck, and it feels good. They hate it, and it's lovely. And it happens to me, too, but I laugh. So, yeah, number 5.
All right.
Uno Flip.
Dion, number 5.
My number 5 will be Mysterium. And the way that I pitch Mysterium to people is that you go back in the old Clue, whodunit, right? This game right here, one of the people, it's just like Clue, but instead one person at the table is dead. And so everybody else has to figure out who killed him, where they killed him, and what they killed him with by showing images and only visions to everyone else by using these really artsy cards that is awesome. And you're trying to figure it out, and it is extremely difficult to become the ghost. But it is a great family game because you're laughing and joking and you're handing cards out. And you're going, gosh, they're never going to get this. And then someone gets it and you're like, yeah, and that feeling of amazingness that you get as a family too. We're on the same page, you and I. And it's a really good game. I like that game. Plus, it's quieter than most games.
Yeah, which is good. Fair. My number 5 is going to be Unmatched. This is an asymmetric game that entails many of our favorite heroes, including people like Deadpool and Bruce Lee. Where else can a Tyrannosaurus Rex battle with Moon Knight except on the Unmatched battlefield? It's a great game for 2 to 4 players. You can two-hand it. You can each play one hero and go 2v2. It's also really easy for the kids to be able to pick up and play. And with the cast of characters that they have with all the different sets, there's never a point where I feel like it gets repetitive, only because there's so many different unique abilities within the heroes to make everyone feel fresh and unique. So make sure you find your favorite hero. Unmatched, number 5. Shay, number 4.
Number 4, oh, yum, yum, yum. Here to Slay. Here to Slay is a 2 to, I believe, 5 player game, might fit 6, where you are trying to build your cute little group of people to fight these monsters. And so either you slay 3 monsters or you have a complete party. And it's so good. And my niece and nephew go on their website, is Unicorn. It's Unstable Unicorn's website, and they make their own main hero, and it's lovely. So number 4, Here to Slay.
Number 4 to me has a special place in my heart. First of all, it's a 4+ game, so all the kids at the table can enjoy this one.
Is it about me?
No, it is a 2 to 8 players, so not everybody, but it is a really good game. It's called Camp. It is going to be hard to find. I can't even find it to keep it in stock. So this is one of the games I felt needed to be added in my top 5. Camp is a game that I get around with all my kids. I've been playing it with years with them. We went on a vacation in Pigeon Forge, And we found it at a little hole-in-the-wall game store, and we were like, what is this? Let's check it out. But you're going around the board, and you're answering questions, and they have questions based on the age group. So simple questions like, what is this? And they're like, a black bear. And you're like, you're right. Roll the dice, move your character. And then something simple, something more difficult for the adults to try to figure out. So it's kind of a nature trivia-based game, but it's called Camp. I really like the game, and I highly recommend it for your family.
Great. Number 4. Cover your assets. It is a wonderful, wonderful trick-taking game, card game to play with.
You would pick that.
Of course I would. Yeah, of course I would. It is a wonderful trick-taking game that you can play with anybody from 6-year-olds to 90-year-olds. It's all about trying to hoard as many commodities within your possession as humanly possible while stealing from everybody else and ruining all of their hopes and dreams of walking away as the first millionaire at the table. It's a game that our kids and myself play a lot on vacation because you can easily pack it away and take it on vacation. The game lasts maybe in excess of 5 to 10 minutes per round, so it's quick. It keeps the attention span of young kids, but there is nothing better than going toe-to-toe with somebody, challenging them for their record collection and walking away with it and knowing that they get nothing and you have everything now in your power. It makes you feel invincible and so it makes me feel like a CEO.
That's good.
Number 3,
I stick with the classics, people. Taboo. Just it's it's a word game. 2 teams and a guesser and a clue giver. The clue giver has a card. They have to explain this card. The best part: this game comes with a buzzer. And if as soon as you say one of the forbidden words you're supposed to say, bzz, and it just feels good. It's a big red button too, so it's just so.
I feel like it'd be even better if there was an air horn.
I feel like,
or if it actually gave you like a shock, like
Deluxify
shock collars around the table, and then you're like, that'd be better.
There we go.
I'm just saying, if this
I'll play with my family. I'm down.
Game, there's some older people in my family that probably should get shocked.
Well, it might help their heartbeat a little more.
But my number 3, Taboo.
My number 3 will be Zombie Mania from our friends at Trick or Treat Studios. Zombie Mania is a 13+ game, so it is a little bit only because there's zombies, but I really, really like the fact that it plays quickly. It's a push your luck dice rolling game. You're just rolling dice and pushing your luck, similar to like Yahtzee or in that realm. But the zombies have like domino feels to them. And what you're trying to do is you have a board and you're trying to remove all of your zombies from your board. But it has this cool element. If I roll the right dice, I can add zombies to your board and make you, which is kids love that, now you have to get rid of those too. And haha, they're not on my board. And as a family, you can pop that out. It's 5 players, play it, get the next group in, play it, get the next group in, play it. And you could sit and play that all day, all night long, and just have a blast of moving these zombies off. So Zombie Mania, 2 to 5 players from my friend from Trick or Treat Studios.
Great.
I think
my number 3, it was really hard not to put this one higher on my list. It is the card game Love Letters. I cannot tell you how many drunken nights playing with my friends have ended in screaming matches, talk of collusion and cheating, all at the hands of this beautifully crafted game. It is so simple.
Very
Anybody
well
can
done.
play it, even non-gamers. It's cheap and affordable, so you can literally pick it up from your local friendly game store like Voss Media here for a very small, I think something like a $10 game.
it's like 10 or 14, something like that. But they've got different. They've got the Star Wars one and the
they got
Marvel
one.
one, and there's so many out there. But and even the Lovecraft one, if you want to get crazy. But it is such a good game. I agree with that.
It's such a simple game. So effectively, all you're doing is sitting at the table with anywhere from 2 to 5, unless you get the expansions that allow for more. And you each draw, you have 1 card in your hand, you draw a card, you have to play one of the 2. Every card has an instruction. And at the end of the day, the round goes until somebody either finishes with the princess or the highest rated card. Every card has 1 through, I think, 9. And so it's a very simple mechanic, but there's just enough of an element of paying attention to what the people at the table are doing, a little bit of poker in it, which I really like, and just nothing feels better than being able to guess what somebody has multiple times in a row, and just to see the fury in their eyes, to see their blood boiling. That's what gaming is about at the holiday season, right?
I guess, right?
Infuriating the people you the most, or at least in my household.
All right, we're at number 2. Right,
It's getting serious now.
This is getting serious.
Okay.
Again, I'm all about the classics. This is more new classic. Code names, people. Code names you can play with 2 or 4 to whatever. And it's a game where you have basically you're both teams of spies and you're trying to figure out the different people on your team. And you have these words. It's one word like pancake or like card or like Tuesday. And what you have to do as the spy master, the clue giver, is you have to tell your rest of your team who's on your actual squad out here. And it's fun, it's a word game, and I can't say anything more about it. It's a very cool game. They have a dual version, they have a kids version. I think they have a Disney version. I think.
Yeah, they do.
Yes.
They have a DC version. They've got code names.
Yes. So yes, number 2, code names.
Harry Potter too.
Yeah, they've got a lot
Yes.
of code names. Flamecraft is my number 2. It is 10 plus 1 to 5 players. Flamecraft is a newer-ish game. It's come out pretty recently. It's a really good worker placement game. I play it with my 8-year-old, and she whoops me every time in it. But the story is that only the people around the table can talk to dragons, and so they go in to better the city. And by bettering the city with these dragons, you gain hearts, and the person with the most hearts wins. And what I really like about the game is that every shop has a unique, like Critical Roles is actually like a bread shop. And, so every shop has this cute name. All of the dragons, even though there's only 5 or 6 different types of dragons that do the same thing, they all have different names, and all the kids at the table love it. The mat is really nice, the neoprene mat that they fall out. And they have like 2 different modes, like a quick mode and a longer mode. So it is one that I like to play with my family, and I would love to introduce other families to it as they come into the Voss Media Board Game Cafe, because I think it's a really good, it's a little heavier than most family games, but it's really, I think, pushes the whole, this is how worker placement is done mentality. And it comes with these great cards that says, you do this or you do this. And so it's really simple. You're constantly looking at it. Okay, I could do all of this. I get to do it all. And then my neck turns over. So it's really good. I highly recommend Flamecraft.
Okay. My number 2.
I could just add sounds, right?
Felt like that was pretty darn realistic. So mine is, of course, it starts with they're at the gate and they're off. It is, of course, Ready, Set, Bet, the wonderful party game where the reason I love this game so much, I'll be very honest, is I love playing the announcer. They did a great job of coming out with an app that you can now use where they'll call the race. But I'm going to be frank with you, I get into it. I put on my best sports announcer voice. I'm rolling the dice, and no, number 7 takes the lead. He moves about a furlong ahead and ahead of number 6. And number 6, he gets a good pace. Oh, number 3 still bringing up the end.
Thank God they made the app.
Why? I mean,
Well,
I thought it sounded perfect. I thought it sounded
it's all
wonderful.
about heart and soul. Something Dion maybe
Does not
needs to-
have.
Maybe somebody could gift him that this holiday season. But it's a wonderful game. It's so simple. And when we play, again, you can have just a ton of people around the table. Everybody's laughing, having a good time. Kids are getting to learn the glories of sports betting. So
Let me teach you how to gamble, son. Sit down for Thanksgiving.
creating the next generation
Teach you
of
how to bet on them horses.
it's, I don't know if DraftKings and FanDuel were a part of that manufacturing of that game, but it's
a good game. It's a really good
such
game.
a fun
It is a
game.
really
And
good
like I
game.
said, it's one that anybody can play. And I remember growing up as a kid, my grandparents would always take me to it's called Ladbroke DRC in the Detroit area. It was an old horse track.
I so thought you were going to say would take me as a horse track as a kid. And
as a kid, I grew up and there was something so fun about going and seeing the horses and race. And we won't get into the other sides of that hobby, but this is a lot more fun because it's very humanitarian because there are no horses or health at risk with it. But
Or real money other than what it costs you to buy the game.
it is way more fun if maybe you could put some real money on it.
I like that game a lot. I like that choice at number 2. My biggest problem with that one is that it was, for a very long time, very hard to get because it was a good game. And when I first played it, I didn't get the ability to use the app, so I'm very excited to try the app. But I agree with it's a really good game. Good
Or
choice.
you just need to have a good friend who loves to
Announce for you.
down the stretch they come.
Okay.
I agree with it. Oh,
Jay, it's you now.
But you was usually narrating. This is number 1.
And
there you go.
Number 1.
There it is. So number 1, the biggest family game I can think of, Twilight Imperium. Just joking.
It's a big game.
Oh, it's a big game. You'll be there. Y'all telling you you're not gonna focus on anything else for the whole time.
That's your whole holiday
That's
party.
your whole holiday. Anyway,
We're skipping dinner.
taco, cat, goat, a cheese, a pizza. It is so fun. Like this game, you saw if you looked at previous episodes, it's really violent. Sometimes we gotta take rings off because you don't want to, and there's been injuries. But Top Cat Goat Cheese Pizza, you literally have a little deck of cards and you flip, and the first person says taco, next person say cat, and you keep going in that sequence. If you say a name of the cards you actually have, you got slap. And if you are the last person on top, you take all those cards. Whoever has the most cards, whoever gets rid of all their cards win. And there's so many different versions of it now.
I was going to ask you what your favorite version was.
I can't say that. The only one I played was the regular one. I really want to play the 8-bit one. Like the 8-bit is like more my vibe, but I don't. But Top Cat Goat Cheese Pizza, number 1.
Fireball.
Yeah, I know.
Beep boop.
I know. I want to play it. I want to own it.
It's a great game. I know you don't get into it, Dion, but it's a great game.
Yes.
Maybe if somebody gets you a heart this holiday, you can also get a copy of it.
So my number 1 for family games. So this is the problem I have. I like really heavier games, 3 to 4 hour games. If I'm going to sit down and enjoy, I'm not a party game guy. I don't want to sit down and play a party game. I just don't. And I really don't like the party games that are you vote and at the table to figure out who's the winner. I don't like that at all. So one of my favorite games that plays 2 to 7 people, 8 plus. So you can play. It's as simple as draw from the left, draw from the right, or draw from the middle. So everybody at the table can figure this out. It's not that hard. It is 7 Wonders Architects. It's one of the best takeaway and put out games for the price. It has one of the best put away systems. Everybody picks a civilization and you're trying to put together your architect. The first one to do it immediately ends the game, and then you add up points. So there's multiple ways to get points. So there are some deeper strategies, like you can create war, which war is very simple. You battle to the right, battle to the left, win points. There's also ways that you're getting science that helps you increase what you're able to do during the game. It's a really good family-based game because it settles that my wife's not a real big gamer, but she will play this game with this type of, scenario, because it's as simple as I'm just trying to build my architect. And then I'm over here going, ooh, if I pull the thing and I could battle you. And then, okay, so I'm getting more heavier depth into it. She gets to just play the game. Everybody at the table has a blast and gets what they want with 7 Wonders Architects.
Which is exactly what everybody wants around the holiday season, right? Get what they want.
Get what they want. It's all they want.
So with my number 1, I was going to go a few different ways, and it was really hard to trim this list down because there were some games, because I think Shay and I are the opposite of you, Dion. I think Shay and I do like more of the party games because they're easy to pull out. They're easy to play. You don't have to teach rules for 20 minutes or 30 minutes before you play. So there were some games such as like Cockroach Poker, which is such a huge hit in my family. Paleo and Heat is another one that were really hard for me not to put on this list just because they're family games that kids can play and enjoy, and they don't take a whole lot to learn. But my number 1 is going to be Clank Catacombs. The reason I put this on the list was because my wife played a board game with me, and it was this, and she said, quote, I would play that again, which is like the greatest compliment a game could honestly get at this point from my wife.
I agree with that.
I would maybe play that again. I was literally dumbfounded. I almost fell out of my chair. I had heart murmurs for a little bit just because I didn't know how to react. I was like, I don't know what to do with my hands. I hugged her. I cried. I laughed.
And she said, I won't play this with you again. That's it. We'll play with you again now. That's what.
But
Didn't know there was physical contact allowed.
But Clank is one of those just classic games. They've had so many iterations. But the reason why I picked Clank Catacombs was obviously it is the newest version. But the thing that they got right was, unlike the Legacy, which I think brings a lot to the table.
I agree.
And, was a big favorite. I just love the fact that it has an element of that in that you are building the board up. There's no min-maxing the map because you already know predominantly where things are going to be. You kind of learn on the original Clank where to move, how to get there in the fewest moves. There's some variability that does mix up every game, but I think with Catacombs, because you're building the dungeon and it can be different every single time you play, it doesn't let you kind of pre-think the same way. There's a lot of discovery, kind of like the old school video games that every map is unique and it's all covered in that wall of fog. So you're kind of really having to relearn it. So I think it adds that variability that makes everything pretty unique. So, gentlemen, any honorable mentions that you guys had that you want to make sure were added?
Gosh, King of Tokyo.
Yes.
That's a really good family game. You're just these big kajus just beating the crap out of each other and trying to be like King of the Mountain and rolling dice. I think that's a great family game. You can get kids to love that game. Shifting Stones is another one I really like. It was like the #1 seller in my store forever because it's as simple as moving stones around and you're playing cards, and it's one of those games that you can still have a conversation like, it's my turn, let me play, and then we can get back to, because I don't really have to pay attention to the board.
What did Rampage get renamed into?
Oh, it got renamed to something else. Oh, I forgot what it got renamed to, but it's the exact same game. It's like
Meeples and Monsters?
No,
Something like that?
it's
no, that's not
around
Meeples and Monsters.
No, it's not Meeples and Monsters. It's something, but yes, Rampage is a good game because you just drop a piece and you break the whole build. Oh.
Yeah, those are good. That's a good one too.
For me, I could think of what's the game? Oh, I can't think of it right now.
And that one with the dice where you're throwing dice and you're racing horses around too. I'm trying to think of that one. Long Shots. That's a great party. It's a great family game.
That was actually one of the first Kickstarters I ever did. Was
That's a really good family game.
Yeah, for me, a couple honorable mentions. I named a few, but games like Paleo too. Again, just an easy engine builder, trying to fight the woolly mammoths and the terrain.
Yeah, I've played that. I was trying to think of which one you're talking about, but I played it.
It's pretty lightweight. It is great for a family, and so those are my honorable mentions.
I would definitely say I have to say Trash Talk. Like it's a newer game, but it's so good. You basically go and one person's the raccoon, everybody else is the animals. I can't think of it right now. I'm a little bit sleepy, but basically you have to put out 3 like different trash, like a yo-yo or whatever you want to be the 3, and the other person has those 3, and then there's 4 words you have to match them with, and you got to match with the group has to match with the person. It is so good.
I'll say a new one that just came out not too long ago that's been making its rounds here at Voss Media Board Game Cafe with families is Secret Identity, for like a party style game with 6-7 players where there are 8 cards that you play out, and they say like, Yoda is one of them, and you get assigned a key, and your key is Yoda, and you have to put pictures in this little like locking mechanism thing that's really cool, and everybody tries to figure out which one you're trying to explain there, and everybody has their own at the table, and they're handing you their keys. It's really good, and then you flip it up, see who's right, you move up points. It's a really good game. I like Secret Identities as well. That's one that's been making its rounds lately.
And one I cannot stress enough, and some people are going to agree with me. Spades is a great
it's a card game. Spades, euchre,
yes. We just
the crew. I mean, those are all great family games. I agree.
Yes,
exactly.
I agree.
So hopefully, for all of you out there, that's given you quite a few. I think we've just listed off about 25 games. So there's definitely something that all of you can find out there that will fulfill those wishes to spend great time with your family, enjoy the holidays together, and enjoy a game or two together. So with that said, I would be remiss if I did not say, champions, never stop playing.